up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, everybody. What's going on? We are back. It is Monday night. It is 8 o'clock. It is June 16th, 2025. You're tuned into the Drive-In Speakerbox podcast. I am your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I'm Slick Dougie, the grip.
And we've got another show for you tonight. We're playing catch up this week. I was in New York last week. Didn't get to do the show. It was a work trip, you know.
Hey, we're in New York.
Hey, I'm walking here. I'm doing a conference here.
I'm in Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, thanks,
Hey,
Vince.
resub. 47
months.
Man.
Oh my
I
gosh.
gotta says I gotta get a 4-year sub email ready. So
Yeah, we gotta redo the
we
cost
do.
and-
We do, huh? Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I
I'm
see.
just a dumb idiot.
But so if you're just tuning into the recorded podcast, you're like, what are they talking about? Well, this show is streamed live on Mondays at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can follow along wherever it is you are more comfortable with, be it YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. You can check it out. You can participate in the chat. We find that Twitch is just the best place to do it. We still stream for the Facebook and the YouTubers, but the Twitch is cool, and they actually pay us on Twitch, which is neat. I've never seen a dime from Facebook and YouTube.
You gotta get a lot of views on YouTube, and you have to get an insane amount of traction going on Meta to get anything from Meta.
But we're on Twitch. We love it too. But you can download this podcast wherever it is you download podcasts. But we were gone. We were gone for a week, so things did happen. I managed to catch, despite being super busy and traveling, I caught the Phoenician Scheme and The Life of Chuck.
Oh, dang.
I got them both. Knocked them both out.
I watched Phoenician Scheme the Thursday. I got in early, one of them first showings. And then I watched that new Predator Killer of Killers on Hulu.
That's the animated one, yeah?
Yeah, animated. It's all the talk on my Facebook, all my buddies and the pages that I'm interested in talking about new Predator.
Well, right on. Well, we will be reviewing both of those, later in the show. But for right now, let's get caught up in the news, man. I mean, that's what we do. We talk about things that happen. Spaceballs 2.
Oh, yeah.
Spaceballs 2.
Mel Brooks and
A lot of the
Rick
living,
Moranis.
a lot of the living original cast.
And Bill Pullman are all going to be there.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So, Dark Helmet is coming back. That's crazy.
That's the best news I've heard
Which
all
means
year.
that he escaped the Planet of the Apes somehow.
Dude, the Schwartz is strong with him.
Well, and so is Mel Brooks. It was confirmed he's going to be Yogurt again. Not anything about him being President Scroob or anything like that.
I mean, if he's reprises
that's
his
because
role
he
as
looks
Yogurt,
like
yeah,
Yogurt.
and then he could be like, there is another.
Yeah. And then come back as a different Yogurt.
Yeah, a different Yogurt. But that's the teaser was really cool, where it was just the scroll and it was just listing all it was making jokes about all the prequels that have happened since the last Spaceballs. I think this, just like Dina said, I think just the announcement of this is a hilarious joke.
I have big concerns.
Well, because the last two Mel Brooks things were shit butt.
Yeah, because this is being co-produced and written by Josh Gad. And he was involved in History of the World Part 2, which floundered and
Yeah, it
sunk.
was not
and
great.
You don't even remember it, and no one talks about it. I love History of the World Part 1.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Absolutely. It's the best. Which I want Spaceballs 2 to have the promised thing from the end of History of the World Part 1 of Jews in space, right?
I feel like they'd have to.
Yeah, that would be cool. But so Josh Gad's involvement, and the lack of things being good the last few times has me big worried about Spaceballs 2.
Well, like, are we coming back into a slapstick era now that there's a Naked Gun remake, which is just straight up slapstick humor?
That's getting into a little bit more news that I got, because we got a Naked Gun trailer that came out today, as Vince pointed out. Did you see it?
I did not, because Vince, in our Discord, for you, those of you guys that want to follow along at home with Drive-In Speakerbox stuff, we do have a Discord. It's on our link tree, driveinspeakerbox.com. Dropped that trailer and said, I'm even less hyped about the movie after watching that trailer.
I don't know, man. I got pretty stoked just because it seems like all of the kind of ridiculous that you would want. And it has like Cody Rhodes in it for wrestling stuff, wherever Velvet Santa is.
It's his anniversary this week. So.
Like the police station's getting turned into like a spirit Halloween because it's going out of business and stuff. I don't know. It made me more
Chuckle.
excited for it. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the brand of humor is, I mean, it's spot on. It is slapstick, which is, you haven't really seen a lot of straight up slapstick movies in a while. I mean, early 2000s, maybe. I mean, like with the scary movies, but those were parody films. And that's different. I think parody comedy, which borders into slapstick, I still think is parody. It's a different genre. Slapstick, like Airplane and Major League and the Naked Guns, like those are true slapstick movies.
Well, yeah, and the new trailer had like a pretty good joke, like a classic, like Leslie Nielsen era joke of the
Was
whole
it the
like
man's laughter?
Yes,
Yeah, I read
it's
about
like
that.
says here you're in for man's laughter, and he's like manslaughter. He goes, must have been a terrible joke. Yeah, right. So, and it was Busta Rhymes.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I just read that joke online.
No, yeah, that was a good one. So, I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah. So.
Wow. You know what would be an interesting movie to see a new one of? Police Academy.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe not.
I don't know.
They made enough of them.
I know, but I mean, one more.
They could always bring back old Michael Winslow.
Yeah, I mean, he's still around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those folks are still, like Bobcat Goldthwait still around. Like, I think the Police Academy could be, if written correctly, I think that it could be done. It could be done pretty.
Yeah, but how many police academies are there? Like 5 or 6?
It doesn't matter.
How many good ones are there?
You
like
pick and choose of the people.
1.5?
Maybe 2. Maybe 2 of them are good. The theme song is great though. You get Hightower. Is he still alive? You get Steve Guttenberg. I'm sure he's still.
Yeah.
He's in there.
The Goots around. Yeah.
Goots around. You can pull it off. I think so. I don't know, and especially as Dina says, I wouldn't mind another Police Academy in this ACAB era. I think it could be.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't know that it could really work.
I think it could be very intelligent and dumb all at the same time, right?
The whole premise of the original movie was that people don't like or trust the police anymore, so they get all these people off the streets and everything to try and turn it around. But I don't think it would work now because people really
don't like the police.
Yeah.
Which I think would make it work even better.
Yeah, but Goots, like the Goots character is probably someone who's done something that a policeman would have to do in the line of duty that makes everyone hate him now. Hightower definitely beat the hell out of somebody.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, like ripped someone out of their car and like tore the roof off so he can drive it. Like, come on, man. Like,
I would still watch it. What other, like, I'm trying to think of dumb comedies like that I feel like could be a fun remake, because I don't really like a whole lot of comedies. I didn't really like Stripes, Hot Take.
Whoa, yeah, what?
I know.
Stripes is so good.
Yeah, I didn't really like that one. I mean, it's good. I wouldn't
for that.
Okay, Vince coming in with some info from the internet of people that are from Police Academy. They're still alive. You got Steve Guttenberg, Kim Cattrall, of course, G.W. Bailey. G.W. Bailey's still alive? Holy crap. No, he's got to be like 2. He's in a chair. Leslie Easterbrook, Michael Winslow, of course, Bobcat Goldthwait, of course, Scott Thompson. I forgot he was in one of those. Let's see, Donovan Scott, Colleen Camp, Brian Tochi.
Police Academy 7. Dude, there's 7 of these.
Man, Ron
Perlman's in one of them.
Okay, all
Dude,
right.
Vince, you've never seen Stripes? Watch Stripes, dude. Stripes is a good movie.
Okay. I
Dude.
don't hate Stripes, but Vince on Twitch, I don't think you'll like it.
Do you like Ghostbusters? Do you like just goofy comedy? Dude,
It's military though. It's like
yeah, but
goofy
it's
military.
them being goofy still. It's just like Police Academy. It's like they're cops, but they're cool about it. And
Yeah.
it's like Stripes is they're just a couple of goof offs.
It's not bad. It just is not as rewatchable.
Dude, it absolutely
For me personally, kind of like Three Amigos. I will still die on that hill. Three Amigos is a great movie to remember. It's not a great movie to watch again. Like you watch it once, yeah, not bad. Watching it again, you're like, but then when you're done with it, you're like, oh, there was all those good parts.
Yeah,
in
but like you're not like a comedy guy though.
I am. This is true. I am not like a comedy guy. But anyway, what else is in the news? I mean, we've been talking about
What else is in the
Spaceballs for an
news?
hour.
No, that's okay. Friendship comes out on digital tomorrow, talking about weird, goofy things. If you want to watch comedy, ? But that's also really like under the surface, like a strange thriller movie about like descent into insanity and the need for stable human interaction or whatever the hell was going on in that movie. There it is. You can watch Friendship on digital starting tomorrow. I think that one might take off on digital a bit just because all of the I think you should leave Netflix watchers being able to catch it from home kind of a thing. This is funny too. Ryan Reynolds is going to produce his production company, Maximum Effort, so him, is producing a movie based on a book called I Eat Poop.
Excuse me, what?
A dung beetle story.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's a kid's movie. And I imagine Ryan Reynolds will be the dung beetle talking about chowing down on Dookie.
Most likely.
But,
speaking of old stories like that we read to our kids, did you hear about the new Robert Eggers?
I saw about that, and I think he's putting old Lily Depp in there, isn't he?
Probably, yeah, of course, and probably Willem Dafoe. But Robert Eggers set to direct A Christmas Carol.
Oh, Willem Dafoe's going to be Scrooge. Yeah, perfect.
Wouldn't this? I mean,
That would be so cool.
I mean, dude, like,
Or he can be Bob Cratchit.
he could be anything because it's Willem Dafoe. He could be the ghost of Christmas, whatever the hell he wants. He could do all of it. But Robert Eggers, I think, dude, I mean, if he keeps on this train like Nosferatu, rules. Can't, like, what a great Halloween movie. Now I have a Christmas movie to watch from Robert Eggers. Like, dude, I am excited. Like, keep letting this guy do what he wants to do. Because Christmas Carol is such a great ghost story. It's spooky, y'all. And I've thought many times of doing a Christmas Carol booth for Pinpoint Christmas and making it scary.
Well, yeah.
And, having all the three ghosts and
The whole thing is to terrify Scrooge and to not being a dick.
yeah, we need more of that in our current leadership. But I'm about it. So yeah, I thought that was cool news. Made me happy. Made me excited. I'm pumped. Let's do it.
Well, it's just you can make that so much fun. Like Scrooged is such a good movie.
I mean, the Disney one's amazing.
Oh yeah.
The Muppet one's amazing.
Yeah, the Muppet with Michael Caine.
The Bill Murray one is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with A Christmas Carol. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. Pretty cool. You know what? Hey, talking Christmas, the David Harbour Violent Night is getting its sequel.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
Christmas next year.
No, I don't want this because I actually kind of liked the first one. I thought it was a good enough departure from the formulas that we see, and I thought it managed to stick the landing. It was Die Hardy enough, Home Alone-y enough, and Santa Claus-y enough to just really hit the notes that I wanted it to hit without like really selling out. I don't know if they could do it again. And wasn't John Leguizamo the bad guy?
Was he?
I think he was. I think he was. Hang on.
I don't remember.
I want to say
there was the whole snowmobile chase, big fight
yes,
thing. At
John
the end of it.
John Leguizamo.
He was the leader of the
bad guy.
Dookie Boys.
Hang on a second. Let me mute my phone. Continue though.
Well, Vince just said that there's a YouTube supercut of over 500 versions of Christmas Carol. That could probably be pretty interesting. But yeah, man, Violent Night 2 comes out Christmas next year. I think I'm with you, is that really there's no need for a sequel to that movie. I don't know.
No, there's not.
Why. I know why. The first one was successful, and they're like, let's do it again. But there's certain things like, what's the chances that Santa's going to find himself in that situation again? The whole thing was that like Santa was like at some time a Viking, and he was reborn into being Santa Claus, and he was forced into this situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it took how many hundreds of years for that to happen, and now it's just going to be like 2 Christmases after that or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea. I don't
Unless
think
it's a prequel.
Sense. Oh, of him just being a Viking?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be pretty cool.
I'd be into that.
Actually, yeah. Sequel, no. Prequel, maybe.
Maybe.
Talking about red, gold, and green, man, friggin' James Gunn and just being on the internet with all this DC crap. But there's been so much sifting through the last 2 weeks worth of news. It's just like James Gunn says this, James Gunn says that, DC's Batman, James Gunn reacts, blah blah blah. But one of the dumbest like announcements that was classified as news is that he announced that Supergirl is changing its title, and now instead
is this the one that's supposed to have Lobo?
Yeah. So now instead of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, it's just called Supergirl. Saw that coming. So,
why is that news?
exactly. Yeah. Because it was named that because there was a comic book run, like a compiled in a graphic novel that has that exact same title.
So
The Woman of Tomorrow, and now they're taking
speaking of DC, I saw this bit of news, but I was not familiar with this character, and you're probably you're a lot more well versed in DC than I am. But I read that there's a TV show set in the DC universe coming online, centered around Mr. Miracle. And I don't know anything about that character. Could you enlighten us?
Probably not. And not with all the changes that get made to so many
But I mean,
characters.
do you know who Mr. Miracle is? Or
He was like a JSA guy. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's not really my thing. I did see that there was a McFarlane toy of him
really
recently produced, though. Yeah.
no clue. I don't. That was just
It's dude. I
too
haven't-
much.
I have not read comic books in it's now 16 years. 16 years or more. 09 is when I quit reading because they made far too many X-Men spinoffs, and then they rebooted it, and then they were talking. It was right before the new 52 thing started, and it was too much, and comics were too dumb, and I just could not financially or emotionally stay involved in comic books, and it wasn't worth it. In fact, I need to get rid of all of
just
my comic books.
offload.
I need
books.
to sell so many of them because I'm losing my home, as you were talking about in the pre-show.
This is true. Let's see. Getting a little bit of. Hang on. My deal is locked up here.
I need to get you a mouse pad.
Okay. Are we still good here? Are we frozen? I don't know. It feels like we frozen, but
Yeah, the freeze frame screen's pretty funny.
it is. I mean, kind of. I just got to figure out what the heck's going on here. Why is we frozen? It says, "Yep, video froze. Audio is good." Okay,
Well,
that's
hey, that's
weird.
something. That's something at least.
Well, let me change cameras. Let me see if we can.
No, that's moving.
Yeah, that one's moving. Let me just go back to this camera. No, this camera is just straight up silly pants. All right, I can fix this. I can totally fix this. But while we fix the old technical difficulties, Jake, why don't you hit him with some more news?
Yeah. Well, I'm just about out of news, unfortunately. Here, I guess I could always we could stand up and do it. I could always just look on my phone because you won't see me doing it. There's a new F1 trailer. Now that there is there's a new F1 trailer because new trailers are coming out for everything like crazy. But this one is exclusively for iPhone users, which is that the movie trailer features haptic feedback.
What?
Yeah. So because it's an Apple Studios movie, if you have an iPhone, they have like some technology that they have not really been making use of in their watches and phones, where the a video provides haptic feedback. And so they have it incorporated into the new F1 trailer, where you can feel the tires and the engine and stuff like that making noise. It'll vibrate your phone in sync with the video. So that's kind of cool. It's like the one time I've been like, well, I want to use an iPhone for a second, like never.
I mean,
have
it's
I ever...
like haptic feedback. Does that just mean it's like it just vibrates?
Yeah, it vibrates, but it's like in sync with like the race car doing race car stuff,
Okay.
So I don't know, it might be kind of cool. I'm gonna borrow someone's iPhone and just to see what it is, because I tried watching it on my phone and tablet, and it doesn't have the Vibrotech or whatever you need to have to make that work, unfortunately. But I don't really care to own an iPhone, so.
Merle's over here saying reset the OBS source. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. It's just I think my particular source is not responding because the camera's doing fine, but yeah, I don't know. Still working on it.
Well, while you're doing that, little tidbits of news is that, there's going to be more Pirates of the Caribbean, and Jerry Bruckheimer answered some questions about it, and they asked him if it was going to be new or a continuation of the story. He said it'll be a new take on pirates. And yeah, so it sounds like he's saying that it's going to be like a reboot or something like that. And they're like, okay, new take and new actors. And he said not all new actors, but he won't say who. It'd be funny if it's like not Jack Sparrow, if they just bring back Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom, and they don't have Johnny Depp. That would be really funny. Yeah, Dina says, I've gotten so old they're rebooting Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, how about that? We keep getting more Jurassic World trailers.
Who cares? Those movies look like garbage.
That's what I was saying. Like, the whole news for so much stuff is just like, hey, I heard y'all like poop, so here's some more poop. Like more Superman trailers, and then like the Superman trailer that they're showing in Asia shows us different things than this one. James Gunn tweeted out pictures of like behind the scenes stuff for Hawkwoman and Metamorpho and Mr. Terrific and all that stuff. It's just, oh my gosh.
You watching it?
No, I was gonna look at this thing about Linda Hamilton being in like a new sci-fi movie. It's called Osiris. So who knows? I don't know. I didn't.
We're back, but we're blurry.
Oh, hey.
Now I gotta focus.
That's something. Now they can see that I'm trying to read it in buy time. I don't know that we need Linda Hamilton to come back in some sort of super sci-fi movie. What if she just did like a regular movie? Or is she just like so much in her like Sarah Connor character of just being like pissed that that's just what she does now?
It's her default.
Yeah, that's the default. They're like, hey, you know how you were just like angry as all hell in T2. And then when we finally brought you back to Terminator, you're just the most pissed person on earth. Let's keep that rolling.
Okay. Technical disasters averted. All live. We're doing it live. That's how we do it here. Okay. Well, man, we need to keep moving. I know that there's probably a lot of news that we could talk about, but we don't have a lot of time. We have a lot of movies to review. Let's talk about the movies that are coming out in theaters this weekend, because it's about that time for that. We've got, obviously, the big one, 28 years later. We've been waiting a long time for this movie to come out. But it's I don't know, zombies. If you're into zombies, there's a train in the background full of zombies, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, like Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 28 years later is coming out. Also, Elio's coming out this week from Pixar. I don't know if you guys saw or read about Gato, which I think
I saw about that.
Which, I mean, come on, were they trying to like steal Flo's thunder? Because Flo was really good and about a black cat. But I don't know. Also, looks like Bride Hard is coming out, so get ready for that. And that's our weekend. So 28 years later, I think Elio actually does look pretty good. What
a week.
Yeah,
weekend.
a weekend. Vince over on Twitch says if you watch 28 Days Later, which I love, it's an amazing how bad it looks. It was not made for new technology. I just don't like fast zombies. I don't like fast zombies.
I like classic, like the shuffling, trying to eat brains, voodoo origin zombies.
I don't like fast zombies. Yeah. I think it just defeats the purpose of zombie stories.
Well, because then they're just monsters. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway, I didn't not like the 28 movies, but the original 28 Days Later I thought was pretty good when it first came out. But I don't like watching things on any upscaled like 4K. Like sometimes that doesn't always translate. It just sometimes makes everything look worse. But
sometimes it makes it badass.
Very few times, I think, but that's just me. Anyway, all right. Well, that's what's coming out in theaters this weekend. Let's talk about what is in theaters currently. I went and saw, I guess what we both saw. Well, here, let me just go ahead and knock out what I saw, and then we'll both talk about the one that we both saw.
Okay, so the one you saw, the one I saw, and the one we saw.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. So I went and saw Life of Chuck. Life of Chuck, if you don't know anything about it, a lot of people don't, but it is a new film written and directed by Mike Flanagan and Stephen King. They're co-writers credited on this, directed by Mike Flanagan, starring Tom Hiddleston, and it's got an ensemble-ish cast. I mean, Mia Sara was in it, playing a grandma, which I don't see her very often. That's, for those of you that don't know who that is, that's Sloane from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But it's got Tweedle, God, fucking these names. What's his name? Tweedle... Ejiofor, yes, thank you. Dry reading and complicated names is hard. Carl Lumby's in it. There's Mark Hamill, of course. There was just Matthew Lillard had a really great cameo in there. But most of this movie really centers around Tom Hiddleston, and this movie is extremely sad. It's about death. And it's this really weird sort of tale in 3 acts about the life of this guy. He doesn't have any magic powers. He doesn't have any, he wasn't really an exceptionally amazing person or anything. But the way that it's framed out, it Mike Flanagan, I think, was a perfect director for this, to leave, it kept this air of mystery and intrigue through the whole film, as you kind of, by the second act, what's happening. And one of the things that, I mean, not to spoil it for anybody, I mean, if you've Googled it, it's not really a spoiler alert. the film is kind of based off of a Walt Whitman poem, where in the one of his lines he says, like the gist of it is, inside I am multitudes, right? And it's this moment of, there's a universe inside of everyone, right? And it's created through all of these memories that you take, and all of these things that you witness, and then that you keep inside. It's in your mind and your memory of all these things you remember. That's like a universe that continues to exist inside of you, right? And this guy's dying, and this universe is kind of falling apart. But the really interesting thing that jarred me, because I didn't really read anything about this going in, so I just kind of went in blind. And the third act, which is the first act, it goes in reverse. I was like, man, the writing is really shitty. I was like, watching this movie, and the dialogue was really just kind of herky-jerky and felt very composed and like artificial sounding. But by the time you get to that second act, you start realizing why. And everything made so much beautiful sense. And then you really realize how well written and how well shot this movie really was. Because this universe that had the kind of wacky dialogue was because this guy's memories were only from these phrases that these people had said that stuck in his mind. And so it kind of made this really interesting journey while you're exploring this world and these characters that are in his mind and have these lives of their own that he only assumes they have, right? While this guy is like dealing with early death by cancer. And there's a lot of twists and turns along the way. You learn about his life. You learn about, it's just this guy, it's just the guy. And in the fact that it's just a movie about a guy makes it so good. You walk away from this movie like feeling feelings, and there wasn't magic powers. There wasn't anything amazing that happened. The world wasn't saved. There was nothing, it wasn't based on a powerful true story of someone's perseverance against all odds. It was just a dude, and that just lived a life, and it made a beautiful story. And oh my God, can we talk about why the hell is Mark Hamill not in more roles? Like, he was so great. Matthew Lillard was so great. Like, dude, there was people that I'm like, why are you not on screen all the time? Like, make more movies.
Mark Hamill just gets to do whatever he wants to do.
That's true. I guess that's true.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, Life of Chuck, I really, really recommend it. I mean, it is definitely sad. It is definitely a heart tear jerker. But it is also a feel-good movie, and I recommend people watch it. I think it's a great movie.
I actually got plans to watch it tomorrow.
I think you'll enjoy it. So, there you go. That is Life of Chuck, and you saw a Predator movie.
Yeah, I watched that new Hulu Predator, Killer of Killers. It is a anthology movie. It was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the same dude that has done Prey and all that. But it takes part in 3 stages. It opens up with like 841 AD, and it's like Vikings and Nordic people in this fight, and this predator is, this Yautja's coming to Earth. And then there's like just all of these fights, and each one of these stories comes down to a like 1 or 2 person versus a Yautja
Always.
and then they conquer the predator. And so it does it. It's Viking times, and then it skips forward 800 years, and it is post Sekigahara samurai, and it's like a samurai and a ninja, and they have to fight this ninja Yautja thing, and then it jumps forward to World War II, and it's like it's a pilot, and the Yautja is in a ship like hunting these fighter planes. And he looks just like the general from Star Trek 6. He has like the eye patch and like looks like the Klingon general from Undiscovered Country, which was kind of cool. And then at the end of it, you know, like, because you see in each stage these people from these different eras all in a room together on a Yautja ship.
So basically, this movie establishes that Yautja suck.
Yes. And so this...
Despite hundreds of years of technological advancement above the human race, thousands, we still get them every time.
Yeah.
And
so
why are they not just hell-bent on destroying our planet?
That is what this movie definitely does. It undoes a lot of what makes Predator cool, and what makes Yautja formidable and all of this. And each movie adds another step away from what the original Predator was, and it just makes the jungle predator look like he's continuously the smallest, weakest predator, because in this, even each predator gets bigger and faster and stronger, and by the end of the movie there's like a 15-foot tall Yautja dude that these humans just
still wax,
slap around like he's almost nothing. And the whole point of the movie is that nobody wins against a predator ever. And so it really undoes Predator 1 and 2, especially Predator 2, in any of the established lore for Yautja. So if you like the books or the comic books or any of the two good movies, this is not for you. If you thought Prey was super sick and you're like, well, I like that they just said fuck you to fans of this like this universe and this well established canon and things like that. Prey was the tits because it had a 14-year-old girl that couldn't use a stick to save her life 10 minutes ago, now taking down a 10-foot tall mutant predator thing. And I think that that's just super badass and makes all the sense in the world to me. Dutch can suck eggs. Forget him. If you were like that, this is probably,
'cause to me, like,
chef's kiss for you.
I didn't get really deep into the Yautja lore or whatever, and because I think the thing that made Predator cool in my
be alive
mind
in the 90s and not be
well, I mean, here's to me, just as a casual, like, I think Predator's awesome, and I think Predator 2 is awesome. Guy, full stop. The reason is because the rest of the lore you make up in your mind, it's there, it's it's between the lines, and you can read it, and it's like, okay, this alien race stumbled on Earth hunting because that's what they do, and they come across this thing as this they're coming here and they're looking for things to kill because they're big game hunters.
But there's honor and rules.
Yes, and then this one guy bests him, and you're like, holy shit. He didn't see that coming. Yeah. Like, the Predator was like, no, what the hell? And then the second one, they come back because they're like, well, apparently this planet's got some badasses on it. Yeah. And then this one dude gets bested, and then he sees the, like, oh, there's more of them. There's respect. There's the hunt. There's the this. And then they roll out. And here's a souvenir.
From a jungle to urban jungle, and in the original Predator, it was a team of the elite of the elite. It was people that were beyond Delta Force, people that were like, I eat Green Berets for breakfast. Like, it was people that were the best of the best of the best, and they were untouchable, and they all got waxed by this Predator.
Well, and it also established the fact that the Yautja had been coming to the planet and kicking our fucking asses.
Well, because, the girl says, that the hunt's in the jungle and all this stuff.
And then when he gives Danny Glover that, like, pirate gun.
Exactly.
And that gun, we've killed people.
That gun comes back for a third time in this.
Shit.
So not only do you see it in Prey and then Predator 2, it's in this one as well, as far as the chronology goes. Because, but in this movie, people that are far less equipped to deal with Yautja just take them out like they're nothing, and it.
I wish at least one or two of the stories in these three were just the Yautja winning and ripping a dude's skull out and being like, all right, we're going home.
In Predators, isn't that what happens in Predators? Mm-hmm. Except Adrian Brody lives and stays to fight or something. Predators sucked. But this sucks more, only because the whole point of when they win is that at some point in the future, they are then abducted and put into cryostasis so that they can have a episode 2 Geonosian arena battle against themselves with They got bomb collars on, and so the predators have no honor. They don't let people go when they best the predator because they are
all vindictive assholes now.
Exactly. So now they hold grudges, and if the prey succeeds, that just makes them more attractive prey for them to pull out sometime in the future when they feel like it. And so, like, this Viking has been frozen for at least 1,100 years, and the samurai's been froze for 400 years. Or 450 years or more, and the guy from World War II has been froze for who knows how long, because they all wake up and they're putting this arena at the end together, and the guy goes, well, you all get to kill each other, and then whoever's left standing, I'll just do the pickings off of, like, the injured and tired human. And he's a 20-foot tall Yautja, 15, 20 feet tall. It makes no sense, and it takes away everything that makes Predators and Yautja interesting and cool, which is at the end of Predator 2, they're like, hey, you kicked our ass. Have the gun. Now get the hell off of this ship quick.
Yeah,
or
roll out.
You're toasted. Yeah, and so it's visually interesting. It's very gory. It's extremely gory animation. People are just being sliced in half. Their heads are being cut off. There's just like loose tongues and limbs and guts falling and blood everywhere. And it's absolutely horrific. But the Yautja don't care if they stab people in the back. They don't care if they bring extreme technology to fight people that are using a wooden shield as their only weapon. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter that there's a dude with a little bamboo dart gun. Yeah, and they're like, it's a weapon. I'm gonna kill him. They stab people in the back, and they don't. There's no sport in their hunting anymore. It's just killing, and it takes away everything that makes Predators fun away from the Predator stuff. So,
well, it's on Hulu. You can check it out. It's animated if you want to watch a violent cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, as far as a violent cartoon and you just being like, oh, dude, it's there. But if you're wanting something that's like Predator, it's not. Yeah, well, it's not there.
All right. Well, up next, we both saw The Phoenician Scheme, independent of each other. Of course, Wes Anderson, written by Wes Anderson and Roman Coppola. I mean, of course, in true Wes Anderson fashion, I don't think I have to list the names of people that were in this because it's huge. But mainly it's Mia Threepleton and Benicio del Toro and Michael Cera. Like, they are the three main characters of this movie that are propelled through this very, 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 very Wes Anderson movie.
It is a very Wes Anderson movie.
And, you know, I personally, I appreciate Wes Anderson. I think he's a talented director. I like his visual style, but I find it to be a little bit monotonous, a little bit formulaic, and there's only a handful of pretty decent ones that I've seen. I mean, I think the last movie that he did that I really liked was probably, when was Grand Budapest? Or let's see, which came first? Isle of Dogs? No, I guess it was.
You really liked.
I liked Isle of Dogs. So I would say Isle of Dogs was probably the last movie of his I really, really liked. I enjoyed, but that was that was stop motion. You know, that was animated.
Up your alley.
And I really liked that. But Grand Budapest, I would say, was probably the last of the, live action movies of his that I really, really enjoyed. Didn't like French Dispatch at all. I found Asteroid City to be quite boring. I don't count the little shorts that are on Netflix. And then coming up to Phoenician Scheme, I enjoyed watching it, but I didn't like it as a movie. Is that?
Yeah, okay, that's fair because it is a very Wes Anderson movie, especially visually. It is visually his style. It's his color palette. It's his
characters,
setup and characters.
It's taking things out of boxes and setting them on tables.
But I got one question. What the hell was this movie even about?
Because Jean-Jacques Corda had a big money-making scheme to make some factory to do whatever, and he had to make deals with a lot of these nefarious sort of titans of industry.
Yeah, but that's all it is he has a plan, and you don't really know what's going on, and then
No one else does either.
He goes and talks to people about money, and then he doesn't get the money, and then they just have circular conversations that end up going nowhere, and the whole movie I was just sitting there going, what the hell is going on in this movie?
I feel like, much like French Dispatch,
Which makes it a very Wes Anderson movie.
because like French Dispatch was a series of vignettes, right? That were sort of trying to tell stories around each other in their similar timeline, around all this paper. And the only story that I wanted to hear more about was the paper, which you didn't hear anything of, and that pissed me off. This movie was a bunch of similar vignettes that they were like, okay, well, let's tie it into one big storyline, but we don't know how. So it's just these fun situations. Like, you know, they were fun. Like, each meeting was kind of fun. His meeting with Cumberbatch was good. It was fun. It was a cool fight scene. I really enjoyed it. But did it tie into the movie for me? No.
Not
the
at all.
meeting with Tom Hanks and where they played basketball. I thought that was hilarious. It was a great scene. What did it do for me in terms of projecting the plot? Nothing.
Yeah, because it didn't resolve anything or answer any questions, and you don't even get to see like the big part of like that little storyline. You are right that it is a series of vignettes that they obviously didn't know how to create good connective tissue for it. And with that being said, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right, 100%. And now I still want to know what the hell was this movie
happened?
supposed to be about.
Yeah, I mean, and then Michael Cera's character, like the reveal where he becomes the cool secret agent, that was fun. That was funny. That was cool.
I did see that Michael Cera was shocked at how much of himself was in the movie because he was originally not supposed to have that large of a role.
He's all in it.
They edited him to be the main character. Yeah.
And it was fun, you know, but it didn't really propel any sort of narrative to me that I was giving a shit about. And, you know, Benicio del Toro, I really like watching him. He's great. And he's great in Wes Anderson movies. But this one, he was just, yeah, he was cool as Zsa Zsa Corda every time he got in a plane accident and every time he says, for me, I feel safe. Like, it was funny, but it just still didn't have any sort of, like you said, connective tissue of why any of this stuff is happening, other than the fact that it looks cool and it lets Wes Anderson do these quirky, stylized series of events that he loves to do.
And his character, they told you everything interesting about him and didn't let you see anything interesting about him. And he was very flat. And it just...
Care for a hand grenade?
Yeah, and it just didn't connect well with me. There was one guy in my theater that thought this movie was high comedy. Oh, man.
Maybe he was high himself.
Yeah, and me, I was just sitting there like, I don't know what the hell is supposed to be happening right now. And it would introduce you to characters, and then they wouldn't really mean anything. And it wasn't like most Wes Anderson movies where they're like... you know, here's Owen Wilson or Jason.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah, they're like, here's this guy, and he's just going to be interesting as a person, and that's all you really need to know.
Well,
and then let him run away with the scene. You don't get that in this movie because the characters are all too timid or too flat, and or don't mean anything to the story in the grand scheme of things, and so. They just fall by the wayside because you don't really care about what's going on with that character. The only characters that you care about what's going on with them is Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston's brothers, the characters that they're playing, and they have such little screen time. But
they look cool, and like I will say, Jeffrey Wright was a lot of fun too. You know, Jeffrey Wright is always fun, mind you. He was the captain who did the blood transfusion. But so this movie to me felt like a bunch of theater kids that love getting tickled by dressing silly and going, "Hey, look at me," and they go, you know, and they're all laughing at themselves, like dressing in these zany characters. And this just kind of felt like a bunch of theater kid shenanigans.
Yeah, well, it's like they were playing Whose Line Is It Anyway, and they did the box of hats, and Jeffrey Wright pulled out the captain's hat, and then the one guy pulled out a fez, and then, you know, like one pulled out a nun's habit, and they're like, let's make a story with these characters, and it just doesn't really connect because it's the Whose Line thing of each person walking into the scene, and then it doesn't connect because it's all independent, that doesn't matter. And like, what was the deal with his like visions of heaven and everything that ended up not meaning anything in the movie?
Well,
like,
I think it did, because at the end I think he found, you know,
he says one thing about it, but all of those scenes didn't mean anything other than just
being able to have Bill Murray be God and Willem Dafoe be whatever Willem Dafoe was. I mean, I think, but that was the thing. He kept having these visions of Christ in heaven and or God, I guess, not Christ, but and then his daughter, who was not his daughter at all, but you know, I guess he felt closer to. I mean, there was some sort of reveal, and it was trying to be way more heady than this movie really should give itself credit for. It's artistic, yes. It's shot well, yes. The music's fantastic, but it was not. I don't know. I enjoyed watching. I don't regret watching it, but it's just another Wes Anderson, man. You know.
Yeah, it does feel like just another Wes Anderson movie. For something for him to slap his style on, just to have another movie out there. I don't know what the point of it was, both as like what was the story, but also what was the point of the movie, kind of a thing. Like, why does this movie even exist, kind of a deal? Because I don't know that it did anything other than
look pretty and
let Michael Cera be a goof
and be a goof and be a cool guy.
The goof was better.
But that's what made it funny when he was the cool guy. He's like, hang on, let me show you my real form. And he turns over, he's like, it's not very different from me now. And he's got the hair and then his cigarette, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, he was like weird Swedish or like Nordic. He was like, so he was like a weird Swedish entomologist nerd. And he's like, I'll show you my real self. It's not that different. And then he's like, what's up, sugar tits?
I'm a secret agent.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that was too slapsticky.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
And anyway, all right. Well, Phoenician Scheme is in theaters right now. I'm not saying don't see it.
I'm not either. It's visually appealing. It's very Wes Anderson.
I would say if you're looking down the things of going, live action Lilo and Stitch, Ballerina, Karate Kid Legends, Phoenician Scheme. Go see Phoenician Scheme, dude. Like, it's a better movie than a lot of the things that you have available, and it is a well-made movie. It is a well-made movie. It is just not a great movie.
If you're gonna watch anything that's in the top 10, watch Mission Impossible.
Well, I mean, yeah. I didn't throw that in the list intentionally because, it was a good movie. Life of Chuck, also great movie. And Sinners is still out there in a handful of theaters. Great
Final
movie.
Destination's out there.
Final Destination was a lot of fun. Not an amazing movie, but it was a lot of fun. Let's not mince words. But with that being said, let's go ahead and turn it over and do the box office report for June 13th through 15th, 2025. Jake's going to give you the top 10 movies in the U.S., starting with number 10. The reason we do this is follow the money. This is how we know we're going to get green lights. This is how we know when good movies fail or when bad movies succeed. So, number 10. Let's go.
At number 10, Sinners, another $1.5 million brought in for it. 9 weeks out has brought in $275 million for WB. Another $86 million elsewhere in the world. So 361, not so bad. At number 9, The Life of Chuck, climbing from the 19th spot because it gained all of its
All of its
theaters.
theaters,
Yeah. It was in, what was that, 16 theaters, and so now it's in almost 1,100. Brought in $2.3 million in its official second week, though it was its first wide release, bringing it up to $2.6 million here so far. And then at number 8, the movie we were just discussing, The Phoenician Scheme, 3 weeks out, brought in 3.2 this past week, bringing it up to a grand total of just under 13 million. That hurts. And then at 7, Final Destination Bloodlines, 4 million this past week. 5 weeks out has brought it up to 130.7 million in its just over month release. Another 141 elsewhere, so
Not
it's
expecting that.
a little over $250 million so far. And then at number 6, I don't see how this movie's still staying up there. In its third week, $5.2 million brought in by Karate Kid Legends, 44.4 so far, another 45 elsewhere in the world. And so 90 million bucks so far.
I know that wasn't an expensive movie to make either, so it could not have been very, very costly.
No, but I'm sure that Jackie Chan's fee and Ralph Macchio's fee.
I mean, Ralph Macchio, does he really get to command?
I think when they're like, hey, dude, the Cobra Kai, yes, dude, we need you back for another Karate Kid. And he's like, oh, you want the Karate Kid back for Karate Kid? Mm-hmm. It's going to cost you. I'm sure that his agent definitely made that worth his time. And then at number 5, dropping from the number 2 spot, big drop. Second week out, Ballerina brought in $9.7 million. Total in the U.S. is at 42, another 49 elsewhere in the world. So just under $92 million as a total. And, you know, they always want to make up new records. And it's like, Ballerina's encroaching on the original John Wick's. No one knew what John Wick was when the first one came out. We all know what it is now, and no one's going to see it. Don't compare it. It doesn't really make sense.
Vince over on Twitch about Karate Kid Legends says he still can't believe that we said Josh Jackson was in it because he's not in the trailer at all. He's most of the movie.
Dude, he's one of the biggest characters in the whole thing. Yeah, ducks fly together, man. And then at number 4, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, another 10.5 million, 4 weeks out. 166.6 million, 340.5 elsewhere in the world. Wow, way to go, international market.
United States, like, okay.
$500 million bucks.
Everybody else wants
for that
to
one.
see Tom Cruise hanging off airplanes.
Dude, it's good. And come on, it's the last one. Go watch Mission Impossible. Someone was saying that they watched a whole Mission Impossible thing getting geared up for that one.
Oh, that was somebody in our Discord. I think it was
yeah.
Night Owlishley. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, do it. Watch Mission Impossible movies. They're fun. 2's goofy as hell, but they're such a good time. And
they're fun.
In the lead up to this, oh man, yeah, I support it. And then opening at number 3, Materialist. $12 million. Not
a bad opening.
Yeah, for a A24 movie. If you want to see Captain America and Pedro Pascal kissing on, I had her name and then I lost it. 50 Shades.
Dina on Twitch says Materialist might keep on the top 10 because of Pedro Pascal, and apparently jokes on social media because people hate it. People are saying it's a hate watch. Word of mouth is rancid. She expects this film to fall off fast, and she hates that because of Celine's song made one of her most favorite movies, which was Past Lives.
I did see a lot of people or a lot of posts about it. It's like the director defends why it ends this way. The director defends why this is happening. Here's the reason that they chose to do this dumb choice in this movie. So yeah, lots of people just kicking its butt online. And then at number 2, Lilo and Stitch, $15.7 million brought in by that one. 4 weeks out, $366.6 million. Another 492 elsewhere in the world, bring it up to $860 million, which is crazy because also no one has had anything good to say about this.
No one.
Everyone is upset that the ending doesn't give a fuck about your Ohana. Like, they don't care about Stitch or the characters that made him, and they don't care about family. Ohana doesn't mean family. It means have fun in your foster home. I'm out of here. Eat shit. Screw you, audience. And yet Disney has nearly $1 billion,
And they're like,
in a
we're
month.
gonna finally buy all of Hulu. Thanks.
Yeah, they are. They're buying Hulu so that they can continue to ruin other things like Predator. God damn it. And then at number 1, How to Train Your Dragon, bringing in $84.6 million for a movie that you have already seen recently. Another $113 million elsewhere in the world, bringing it up to just shy of $200 million for its opening weekend.
Yep.
There you go.
Stupid.
Dinosaur says little kids don't care. The CGI Stitch and commercials are what they want to see.
Yep.
Where are you with your children that you are watching commercials? Why are you paying for cable to see commercials? What is going on in your 2025
They may not
life?
have YouTube Premium, so they're seeing them on YouTube, and they may be like seeing them in, they don't have Max Premium because it's got ads.
Show your kid the original, the unedited original where Lilo gets in the washing machine or whatever. Like,
I'm stuck in the washer.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is our show. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to like and subscribe, please do. We are out there on all the social medias. You can, you can take a look. You can Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You can get on our Discord at driveinspeakerbox.com. You can download this podcast wherever it is you download podcasts. Thanks, Merle. And yeah, you just get in there. Get in there, and we'll see you next week. What are we watching next week? What are we talking about?
I don't know. We got to find something. There was nothing coming out. It's 28
we
years.
literally just talked about
28
what was
years,
out.
Elio.
That's right, Elio.
And
I'll
some,
Elio!
Bride Hard.
I'm not seeing Bride Hard. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Later, dudes.
Later, dudes.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.